It was just another Tuesday, you know? One of those days where the sky can't make up its mind, spitting a bit of rain, then letting the sun peek through like it's playing hide-and-seek. I was on my last few deliveries for Speedy Eats, my van smelling faintly of pizza, Chinese food, and that weirdly sweet smell of grocery bags that have been sitting a bit too long. My back was aching a little, my playlist was on its third repeat, and I was mostly thinking about getting home, kicking off my boots, and maybe watching some dumb TV. The address was on Maple Creek Lane. Nice street. Big trees, houses set back. A bit? Kids' bikes usually lying in driveways. I'd been there before. As I turned onto the lane, though, something felt off. It was getting dusky, streetlights just starting to hum on. But there was this other light, a flickering, angry orange kind of light, coming from further down the road. And a smell. Not barbecue. Sharper. Acrid. My stomach did a little flip. "Please, don't be what I think it is," I muttered to the dashboard. But it was. As I got closer, I saw it. Flames. Nasty, hungry flames, licking up the side of a two-story house, smoke billowing out from the upstairs windows like a bad omen. My heart jumped into my throat. I slammed the van into park, probably not even properly by the curb, and fumbled for my phone. 911. My fingers were shaking so bad I almost dropped it. 911. What's your emergency? The voice was calm, professional. Fire. House fire? Maple Creek Lane, number, 127, I think. It's bad. I was shouting. I know I was. While I was on the phone, stumbling through the details, I was out of the van, running towards the house. The heat hit me even from the sidewalk, like opening an oven door. And the sound. A roar, a crackling, popping sound that made the hairs on my arms stand up. Then I heard it. A scream. Not loud, muffled, but definitely a scream. And then a cough. A desperate, racking cough. "There are people inside." I yelled into the phone. "I think there are people inside." The dispatcher was saying something about staying back, waiting for the fire department, but my feet were already moving. I don't know what came over me. It wasn't like I'm some kind of tough guy. I deliver food. I once cried watching a sad dog commercial. But that sound, I ran up to the front porch. The front door was closed. I hammered on it with my fist. "Hello? Fire! Anyone in there? You need to get out!" More coughing from inside. Desperate, I tried the knob. Locked. Of course, it was locked. I looked around, frantic. A window next to the door, flames were already lapping near it. "No good! Stand back!" I yelled, though I don't know who I was yelling it to. Maybe to myself. I took a few steps back, then threw my shoulder against the door. Nothing. Just a painful thud that vibrated up my arm. Adrenaline, I guess, because I didn't really feel the pain then. I kicked, hard, right near the doorknob. The wood splintered. Another kick, and it burst open. The smell of smoke and something else. Something burning that smelled like plastic hitting me full in the face. "Hello!" I screamed into the smoky haze. It was thick in there. My eyes were stinging, watering like crazy. I pulled my t-shirt up over my nose and mouth, trying to breathe. "Over here! Help us!" A woman's voice, choked. I stumbled forward deeper into the smoke. It was like walking blind. I could see shapes, furniture, but it was all hazy and orange. From the fire glow coming from what looked like the kitchen area. "Where are you?" "Here, in the living room." I followed the voice, bumping into a coffee table. And then I saw them. A woman, huddled on the floor with two little kids clinging to her. A boy, maybe 6 or 7, and a little girl, no older than 3, her face streaked with soot and tears. The mom was coughing, trying to shield them. "Come on, we gotta go," I said, my voice hoarse. The woman looked up, her eyes wide with terror and a flicker of hope. I can't. My husband, He went to get the dog, she gasped. Where? She pointed vaguely towards the back of the house, where the orange glow was brightest. No time! We have to get you and the kids out now! I grabbed the little boy's hand. Come on, buddy, stay with me. He was scared, but he didn't fight. I practically pulled him towards the door. The mom scooped up the little girl. Follow me! Stay low! I remembered that from some fire safety thing I saw ages ago. We stumbled back towards the front door. The smoke was worse now, heavier, and I could hear the fire roaring louder. It felt like being inside a dragon's throat. Just as we got to the doorway, a man came staggering out of the smoke from the hallway, coughing violently, a small, whimpering dog tucked under one arm. He looked dazed. The kids! Get them out! He choked out. I pushed the boy out onto the porch, into the relatively fresher air, then turned back. The mom was right behind me with the little girl. I helped her step out, then grabbed the man's arm. Come on, let's go. He stumbled, and I half-dragged him out. We all collapsed onto the lawn, coughing, gasping for air. The little girl was wailing. The boy was crying silently, and the mom was just holding them, rocking back and forth, saying, "Thank you, oh God, thank you," over and over again. The dad was on his hands and knees, coughing up stuff I don't want to describe. The dog was licking his face. And then the sirens. That beautiful, beautiful sound of sirens getting closer. Fire trucks. An ambulance. They were there so fast. Firefighters, in their big gear, rushed past us, hoses uncoiling. Paramedics came over, putting oxygen masks on the kids, then the parents. They wanted to check me out too. I just sat there on the grass, my t-shirt black, my face gritty, my throat raw. I watched the firefighters battle the blaze. It was terrifying, but they were so professional. They knew what they were doing. I was just a guy who'd been in the right place, or wrong place, depending on how you look at it. The mom, her name was Sarah, she came over to me. Her face was smudged, her hair a mess, but her eyes, I'll never forget her eyes. You saved us, she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. You saved my babies. She just hugged me, tight, and I hugged her back. I'm not gonna lie, I teared up a bit then. It all just hit me. What could have happened? Later, after I'd given my statement to a police officer, and the fire chief had shaken my hand and called me brave, which felt really weird, I just stood there watching the smoldering shell of the house. My delivery van was still parked crookedly down the street, its hazard lights blinking forgotten. My boss called. Someone had reported the van, then someone else had called about the fire and mentioned a delivery driver. He was mostly concerned, asked if I was okay, said to take the next day off. Driving home that night, the adrenaline was gone, replaced by this deep, bone-aching tiredness, and a weird kind of quietness in my head. The usual worries, bills, what to have for dinner, if my favorite team would win. They all seemed so small, so insignificant. I kept seeing those kids' faces, the mom's eyes. People started calling me a hero in the days that followed. The local news even did a little story. Hero on wheels, they called it. It still feels strange. I don't feel like a hero. I just saw people who needed help, and I helped. I think anyone would have done the same. Or at least, I hope they would. I still deliver on Maple Creek Lane sometimes. The house is rebuilt now. Looks nice. Different, but nice. Sometimes if I see Sarah or her husband Tom out in the yard, we wave. The kids, Lily and Sam, they run over and give me these big, sticky hugs if I stop. It changed me that night. It's hard to explain. It's like life feels a bit more precious, maybe? And my job, just delivering food, sometimes it feels like I'm doing more than just dropping off a pizza. Sometimes I'm just a guy on wheels, in the right place, at the right time, ready for whatever the night might bring. And that feels pretty good.